Good morning, Midland, Texas. Buddy Webb. I got a story here today that's really interesting. It's a tweet I saw from Senator Ted Cruz, and you'll see my Facebook post right here under Buddy Wayne Webb. And my little one-liner here: Ted Cruz investigate and bring legal action against the mayor who's let citizens be attacked by domestic terrorists. It's actually a little bit longer tweet than that, and. And here it is right here. And I said, in a recent tweet, Texas Senator Ted Cruz said to federal law enforcement, investigate and bring legal action against the mayor who has, for political reasons, ordered his police officers to let citizens be attacked by domestic terrorists. He then added, find and prosecute these violent felons. Okay. And, that to me sounded like a reference to what's going on here in Midland, because it's pretty clear that they murdered the last homeowner that lived in this house. And then as soon as I reported, suspected tunnel crimes, repeated break-ins to my home, then I was ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut. Multiple people saying there's tunnels, underground facility, or all the other stories that go along with that. All the facts and evidence, proof of a capital attempted murder, proof of falsified X-rays, proof of security system hacking, and then contacting press across the nation, law enforcement, and you can't get anything done. And so this actually provides a lot of hope. You can see the date. This is very recent, June 29th there, and when Senator Cruz put this out. So it definitely gives hope. What this video is going to do is I'm going to go over basically the mayor here in Midland and my experiences, and since that's happened. So first thing I want to start with is in Midland, Texas. This is the org chart, okay, and this comes right off the city's website, and basically what I'm showing here is who reports to who. The police department, which is the chief police is head of it, reports up to the city manager, who reports to city council and mayor, and then they're supposed to report to the citizens of Midland. And that all sounds good, but as we know, the press is hiding the news stories, deceiving the public, and so the public, really, the voting public, has truly been deceived by the press in this town. And I just mentioned that a minute ago. I showed irrefutable, undeniable evidence of capital crimes being committed, and you can't get a news story, and you're going to see that. But the main thing here is the police reports to city manager, reports to city council, mayor. So everybody has a boss there, right? And when I first moved here in 2008, I was transferred here to Midland with a large gas company, 25-year company man. And keep in mind that I chose to move to Midland. It was with hope and excitement. I spent my life savings on a home, and this is my home. And so at the time, the mayor was Wes Perry, okay? And so I'm going to go over, he's no longer the mayor, but he was the mayor when I shot. And I'm going to go over some interesting things here about Wes Perry, okay? And Wes Perry, and this article here is dated in November 2010, okay? And he's mayor of Midland. Here, the article is called Boogeyman Trifecta Murdock Allies with Oil Company Cheney, okay? So basically what this is saying here is Lord Jacob Rothschild and Rupert Murdock, okay, and just purchased a 5.5 stake in Cheney Oil and Gas, okay? And the Cheney chairman of Midland, Texas was Mayor Wes Perry, okay? Also there, you'll notice former Vice President Dick Cheney, okay? Them were some huge names. Of course, Rothschild's probably the wealthiest family in the world. Murdoch's had a News Corp, billionaire, and of course, Dick Cheney was over Halliburton, which is a big oil company, and so you can see how them might tie into oil shows, oil show parties, etc. Okay, and so what they were doing, they were drilling for oil in the Golan Heights, okay, in Syria, I think. And so, anyways, I'm gonna put there, and then interesting. This really gets interesting. Here, I'm going to give you a little bit more information on the board of Cheney. You can go look all this up right here. and it's showing, you know, Dick Cheney, 46th vice president, right? And here's Wes Perry and some of the board members of Cheney. Okay, and so keep in mind that was the mayor when I'm ambushed and shot in my home, and after you know, reporting to law enforcement on Facebook. On your people you may know list, one thing I noticed, many other people have noticed this too, is a lot of times when people show up in there, in that people you may know, it's people that are looking at your profile for whatever reason. And then I get this odd, you know, name here, David Rothschild is in my people you may know. Well, that's odd. And we had one mutual friend, Claire Gilmartin. And so I asked the question, why would David Rothschild be looking at my Facebook? Okay, maybe he has some kind of connection here. And you can go Google David Rothschild. Like I said, these are you know, from the wealthiest family in the world, right there, the Rothschilds Bank, right? And you can go Google that for yourself, find out who he is and all that. Okay. And, you know, I sit there and go, I wonder if he's in the underground facility. I was told a lot of people there, some incredible cover-up and crimes been going on. And this is the Claire Gilmartin. That's the mutual friend for the David Rothschild. And this is the mutual friends list, you know. And so there's a whole bunch of them. And this is a real interesting group. They're all over the place. They never share my story. And you know, many of these same group of mutual friends, not on this list, but I blocked because they were rude. They spread misinformation, lies, attacked me, etc. But I've never been able to put together about this you know, just this group, this rough group of people. So anyway, there's a connection between the former mayor of Midland, Wes Perry, and the Rothschilds. Okay, that's not a what if, could be. He was a partner with them. Okay. And so I want to go, another thing that's kind of important. Okay, I was told that in so many words, there are a lot of people here when I shot. Okay, I mean that you don't know how many lives you ruined with you know, etc. I've told that story many times. Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened, what would bring a lot of people into town. And so I went and Googled, and what I found out is Midland held the first ever developers conference. This is a lot of wealthy people, company owners, etc., that they got them together for a 2-day meeting here that happened on the 2 days before I'm ambushed and shot. On Thursday and Friday, I'm shot on Saturday. Okay, and so that they had people from all over Texas and across the country. These are people that build apartment complexes, the Saltgrass Steakhouse, etc. Okay, so we have all our people here. You know, are rich and famous, meaning these rich and famous, okay? And so this is the schedule of the first ever Midland Developers Conference going on 2 days before I shot, okay? Mayor Wes Perry, he was the speaker at that. Okay, and so here's the questions been asked, and you can go look this up. I'll post it here later. Another big name was Secretary of State, Texas Secretary of State, Hope Andrade, and here's city council members and our chamber members, etc. This is our group of people that are putting on the dog and pony show for all the people coming in from out of town. We want them to invest and build apartment complexes and etc. Okay, so they had 2-day meeting on day 2 on Friday. Okay, so they were here the day before I'm ambushed and shot. The question was asked, did any of these people stay in Midland for a little underground fun in $1 million underground facility where no laws apply? Okay, you know, so it gives us a short list. Do any of these people know about the underground facility, and or were they there? Because if they do, then they know about the premeditated capital attempted murder of my life, and most likely it's involved in the capital murder, which is a death penalty case of the last homeowner, and all the other crimes here. The young girls that was murdered at the 2010 old show party. I believe that happened in the same place. So anyways, the Mayor Wes Perry was at that party. Now just think, what if Mayor Perry was there and all of a sudden somebody decided to kill me above ground and make him a party to a capital murder? If he's on my property, he's a party, right? And so then he either has to, by law, he has to report that to law enforcement, or if he tries to cover it up, he's an accomplice. Okay. Moving on in time. I'm shot in 2012, ambushed and shot, okay? And I send this big email that I titled A True Miracle. I was giving God all the praise and glory, January 8, 2013, and I created this big distribution list. Every supervisor in the Midland Police Department was on here, half the churches in Midland, and the sheriff, and even Governor Rick Perry, who is now the Secretary of Energy for Donald Trump. But one thing's real important is Wes Perry, the mayor, was on this email. This talked about the secret police, the premeditated capital murder attempt on my life. Price Robinson was the chief of police at the time. Okay, Gary Painter no longer alive. He was sheriff at the time. He was copied on this. Current chief of police, Seth Herman, he knew about this way back in 2013. He knew about this premeditated capital murder attempt. All of them did. But also on this list, which I don't have circled, is the city council member, John James Sparks, Trost. He's a current member here. Courtney Sharp. That's the city manager the chief of police reports to, okay? And also at the time city council member Morales, who is now mayor. So I want to put that in there, the True Miracle email. There's a whole story goes along with that, but okay. And then Wes Perry, he decides he's not going to run for a third election, and then the city council member Mary Perry ends his 11-year service, and this is in 2014, early 2014. Mayor Jerry Morales, council member, he runs for mayor and he gets elected. Well, right before he gets elected, the police arrest his son on dope charges. Okay, and so I mean, I've had people question, do you think that Mayor Morales, they arrested his son so they could blackmail him into doing whatever they wanted, and maybe cover up the underground facility and the murders associated with it? And well, I wouldn't know that. Only law enforcement know that. But what we do know is as soon as Jerry Morales got elected, then his son was facing time in prison, and so whether there's any deal saying, hey, I tell you what, we'll make sure your son doesn't go to prison for a hard time if you do what we say, I don't know that, but I just want to bring you out that some people have wondered that. And I think his nickname is Slow Mo. He sent me a friend request on Facebook. So Mayor's son knows who I am. That's for sure. I've wondered, I was told a lot of people were here. Maybe he was here. Somebody asked him, was he here when I was ambushed and shot in my home? Was he in the underground facility, And I think his name's Chase, Anthony, or Tony, something like that. And so anyways, I wanted the mayor's son arrested. So Morales is now, so everything past that now, Jerry Morales is the mayor of Midland. Okay, we're going on in time. Okay, I sent many emails, communications with Morales. Okay, this is 2014. This is a big one. Okay. This is a Facebook message to Jerry Morales, the then mayor, okay, and it's dated October 29th, 2014, and I sent him pictures of the then secret police. Remember, they were secret for 6 years, and then finally I paid a private investigator $2,000 who identified all 11 of them. That didn't happen until 2018, and this is in 2014. But I sent this message to the mayor and most of the city council. Can you confirm if any of these people are or were Midland police officers? And of course, that's a fair question. He's the mayor. I'm a citizen, right? And I'm a crime victim as well. I got these pictures of these people dressed like police in my house, but I didn't have a police report saying they were police, and I was asking this question. It's a fair question. But he didn't answer the question. None of them answered the question. And I'm sure they wasn't expecting one of them guys to go on to murder somebody else, okay? Because 47 days later, this one, Midland officer, K9 officer, Chad Simpson, murders his wife and kills himself. Chad Simpson. Now, many people are saying, what if Mayor Morales would have answered that question? Would Sandra be alive today? Would them two babies wouldn't be orphans? They had two children that are now orphans. And so what happened here on December 15, 2014, and you can read the news story up there that Chad Simpson took his gun, murdered Sandra, and then killed himself. Now he chose to die, right? She didn't get a choice. She was a murder victim, and he was a killer. Okay, and he's a Midland police officer. Okay, and nobody, it's not Buddy saying that. It was all over the news. Everybody knows that. Okay, I can show you all kinds of news stories about that. And so she didn't die right away. She died a few days later. And the reason I bring this up is because the connection back to the mayor, was their dereliction of duty, okay? And would these two babies have parents? Would both Chad and Senator Simpson be alive if the mayor would have just answered the question, yes, they were Midland police officers. We're going to find out why they're in your house and there's no police report. We're going to get them arrested, and thus he can't murder her, okay? And so another interesting thing here is 2 days before the murder of Sandra Simpson, I posted a Facebook post called Rape and Murder, and I also sent an email to the mayor and to the governor and to the, was it to the mayor? No, to the governor and to then Attorney General Greg Abbott and to the Texas Rangers. And it basically was the same rape and murder story. So 2 days after I posted this rape and murder story, which is the story about the young girl being murdered at the oil show party in 2010, then that is when Chad Simpson murdered Sandra. So the question's been asked if Chad was involved in, there at the oil show party where the young girl was murdered. My friend that was at that oil show party was afraid to report it and said high-level police were there. And then I got threatened by a police officer. That's a side story. But it's connected because 2 days before this officer decided to murder that wife, then that story got posted about the oil show party. Okay. 2015, okay, dates on this, August 25th, 2015. Information request from the mayor. This is real interesting. Mayor Morales called me on the phone, okay, and he asked me to send the city attorney this email. So that's what I'm doing. And I copied him on it. See where it says Jerry up there? That's Jerry Morales. And so a blind carbon copy, my attorney in the Texas Rangers, etc. Okay. It said, John, I spoke with Mayor Morales yesterday who asked me to contact you. Okay. So I personally spoke with Mayor Morales on the phone and explained that, what happened to me, the secret police, all that stuff. Okay. They were secret at that time. They're secret for 6 years. Okay. 2016. Okay, this is January 4th, 2016. I've got a record of it. This is the email list. You can see Price Robinson, Gary Painter, Ken Paxton, he's the Attorney General. Okay, Inspector General Horowitz, all the city council, Laura Nodoff, the current district attorney. Okay, and this email is titled $2,000 Reward for Information Corrupt Police. Okay, I have pictures of police, but I didn't have a police report, and so I couldn't get nobody to name them. Remember, I sent them to the mayor and city council, and they wouldn't name them, and so I finally offered a reward. Never happened before in the history of America as a crime victim offered a reward to identify police, and they can't say they didn't know because they got an email telling, and that included Mayor Morales. Okay, so Mayor Morales knows that here I'm a crime victim, and I'm offering $2,000 to get these secret police identified. Okay, but a lot of other people on there too. This is real interesting. July 10th, 2018. Okay, once again, see Jerry's on the list. That's the mayor. Burglar, habitation, theft of services at 3802 Fair Circle. That's my home. And I give the history, how I moved here. I reported my first burglary, and then I reported my second burglary, and the burglaries continued, and then I'm shot with burglar alarms going off in my home. And then I put at the bottom links to over 50 videos of burglar alarms going off. Videos made with burglar alarms going off in my home. That, I believe that's the domestic terrorism, the death threats, everything that's happened to me. That's after I'm a crippled crime victim, disabled, defenseless, living under a death threat, people breaking into my home, and the mayor's known about it for a long time. 50 videos on this email right here sent to the mayor, and that was last year. And I've got more break-ins, more death threats since then. Okay, this is truly lawlessness. Okay, this is a Dr. Stalker. I got a whole video on this. This guy's contacted me with these fake names on email. Once again, you can see who I was sending the emails to. I was forwarding his emails There's a video called Dr. Stalker, and the email addresses here, the city council and mayor. And basically, this guy right here tells me where he learned how to fake x-rays when he was working overseas. Well, that's real important since I got proof of faked x-rays, right? Obviously, this guy knows something about, what's going on here and is connected. Name was Mark Jones. He also wanted me to go to work for him. He wanted me to meet him, and they paid me what they felt like I was owed. There's a whole bunch of emails that go along with this right here. But it was sent to the mayor. That's why it's here. Okay. So when I was going to medical school back in the early 70s, that's where I learned how to fake x-rays. Okay, well, that's huge. Faking x-rays is huge. Okay, and here's the email address of the stalker Mark P. Jones at Cheerful, and the reason I was sending it to law enforcement so they could just track the guy and find out what he knows about this premeditated capital murder attempt. One day I get this: Jerry Morales asked to tag your photo. He was looking at my Facebook. He can't say he don't know what's going on here. And you can see which post it is. I'm going to show you a bigger picture of it. But this was my Facebook post that I created. And he wanted to tag his own picture. Okay. And basically what it was a screenshot of the private message I sent him asking if he could confirm any of the secret police in my house with the timestamp, and then a screenshot of the obituary for Sandra Simpson where she was murdered by the Midland K-9 police officer that was in the pictures that I sent to Morales. And then I took pictures of all the city council and the mayor, because I think each one of them, that they need to answer how come they didn't reply and answer that. How come Chad Simpson wasn't arrested before he could murder Sandra? Okay, and so I'm going to stop right there, and so we go back to Cruz's tweet, and here it is: Ted Cruz to federal law enforcement investigate, bring legal action against a mayor who has, for political reasons, ordered his police officers to let citizens be attacked by domestic terrorists. To law enforcement, find and prosecute these violent felons. And there's the date. And, lately I've been working with federal law enforcement. I've been talking to DHS, Department of Homeland Security. But don't think that I haven't contacted others, the police, the Texas Rangers, the FBI, and I will continue. The evidence, the facts, and the truths on my side. And people all over the country, all over Texas, reporting people in the attic. And this is much bigger. I believe they murdered a lot of people. This has to be stopped.